Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 now of the Teesside Trimmer and Tone podcast. I'm your host Conor Grover, and if you're tuning in on Facebook Live, this is a new podcast now that I'm starting. Obviously you won't have seen the first episode, but you can tune into that on iTunes. Today we're going to be talking about how to get the best results possible in terms of your health, your fat loss, muscle tone, whatever it is health and fitness related, and then maintain those results. Okay, so the reason we're going to talk about this is because one of the main problems people have when it comes to getting results is they can't they might get results, but they always seem to struggle to actually maintain them for years to come, and that seems to be one of the biggest barriers that people face when trying to become healthier and fitter. Or obviously one of the other barriers is that they're trying everything, but they're just not seeing the results that they want. So we're going to dissect that, why it is that people don't see these results, what they need to incorporate and enforce to make sure they can get those results, so that then you have some more sense of direction as to what to do moving forwards. Okay, so when it comes to results, and this sort of a little bit of this podcast, some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you came just yesterday. I was looking at a progress picture of myself. My goal for the past year has been to actually increase my weight, but to have it as little fat as possible and to gain as much muscle tone as possible. And I took a look at my before and after pictures, and there was an astounding difference. And the first picture I was around 160 pounds, and the second picture I was around 175 pounds now. And I'm still lean. I've not gained that much body fat. There's a significant difference with the body fat, but like on the before picture, I'm really, really lean. Some would maybe suggest an unhealthy in an unhealthy way. And obviously I've gained that weight, and I've succeeded with the goal so far. And I'm constantly trying to progress from there. So I was actually looking at that, and I was thinking, why is it that I've succeeded with this goal? What are some of the core principles that I've incorporated and that I incorporate and endorse with a lot of my clients as to why this has worked and why some people don't see these results? And the way to make progress, you need to incorporate the 4 Ps, right? This is what I call, this is sort of like a new concept. It's always been there with my methodology, but I've never really had a word for it or a sort of phrase for it. And I call it the 4 Ps of progress. Okay, so there's 4 Ps, and if you can incorporate all 4 Ps, you will see a significant amount of progress, and you'll be able to maintain that progress for years and years to come. So, what are those 4 Ps? I'm going to go through them now in no particular order. The last one is going to be the most important, but the first three I'm going to share with you, probably equally as important. Okay, so the first P we have is you need a plan. Okay, obviously you need a plan if you want to make progress. You can wing it sometimes, and you can sort of stumble across success when it comes to becoming healthier, fitter, and what have you. But if you want to get better results, you definitely need a roadmap and a plan in place, so you know what direction you're going in, and you know how you're going to actually tackle the task at hand. So with your plan, you're going to need 3 things indefinitely to get the best results. You're going to need some sort of nutrition protocols in place. Nutrition is going to be a big factor within this. So you're going to need to make sure that your eating is in accordance with the goals that you have, whether it's to lose body fat, whether it's to tone up, whether it's to improve your health, improve your digestion, improve your sleep, anything like that. Okay, so food's definitely going to be a factor. You're then going to need to have movement in there. So there's going to need to be some sort of exercise in there. Okay, so again, depending on the goal, if it's more muscle tone, it needs to be more resistance training. Even if it's fat loss, resistance training is going to be a core part in there. You'd maybe incorporate a certain amount of cardio. It depends on the type of fat loss we're looking at and how much fat loss. And the type of cardio, obviously, is going to depend on the goal. But exercise, again, is going to be a core factor in there. And then you're going to need a support system. So that's another thing that you're going to need. It doesn't matter what the goal is here. You're going to need something that's going to keep you accountable, keep you on track, and making sure that you're following the plan accordingly. They're going to be the 3 main pillars. Yes, there's going to be other things that play a role in this. Okay, there's plenty of things we could go into detail on. Little additional things that would definitely help. Whether it be supplements, whether it be getting outside. It depends again on what the goal is. But a plan is something that you're definitely going to need to incorporate to see progress and results. Then you're going to need to be persistent, okay? So the second P is persistence. And what I mean by persistence is that you keep going and that you don't stop and stall, okay, because that's just going to halt your progress and it's going to make the whole journey and the whole road a lot bumpier. So persistence is definitely something that you're going to want to incorporate. So you've got to keep going. You've got to focus on getting 1% better every single time, whether it's every single day, every single week. As long as you're getting 1% better and improving and moving forwards, you're going to constantly see progress. Obviously, if you're not, you're just going to stall or you're going to go backwards. So getting 1% better, again, is something that you're going to need to focus on when it comes to persistence. Now, the big question here, when it comes to keeping going and getting 1% better, it's not always as easy as that. You've got to ask yourself, is the plan sustainable? So what is what you're doing? So again, say you have a plan, and maybe it's, I'm going to only eat 500 calories, okay? We see a lot of these 500 calorie diets out there. Personally, I don't agree with them for various reasons. But what we can sometimes see is that people can't sustain that because either their health hits a roadblock, it becomes too stressful on the body, the actual results themselves stall because the body's too stressed, so it refuses to allow any more fat to leave the body. Okay, you're not going to drop any more body fat if your body's under too much stress, so it starts to retain things, so it starts getting in the way. So you've also got to ask, with the plan I've incorporated, can I be 1% better all the time? Or is there going to be a point where I'm going to hit a roadblock? So that's like a bit of like a catch-22, because you can't always be persistent if you've got the wrong plan in place. So it's good to have a plan in place, but it has to be the correct plan. So knowing that we've got the correct plan in place, then we've got to be persistent. We've got to ask, is this plan going to be sustainable? If it is, if it's got the green light, then we go ahead with the plan. If not, then we've got to reassess, readjust the plan, make it so it's sustainable, and then we've got to be persistent with it. And you might have to change the plan. So if fat loss is the goal, you could be persistent until you've reached the goal and the plan changes. So the plan doesn't always have to be rigid. The plan can chop and change as well. So that's the second P. Then the third P is patience. So we've got to be patient with the plan as well. So like we said there about the persistence, you've got to keep going, and obviously results might stall. But then we've got to ask ourselves, are the results stalling, or do I just need to wait a little bit longer? Now that's a hard one because you can't always tell. Based off your goal, I can give a few examples. I've had a client before where they said, the weight's not coming off at the moment. There's not much weight coming off of me. And I said, check your measurements and just wait it out a little bit because you've made quite a big leap in your results and your progress. It's been flying off. So things might just be slowing down a little bit. We waited a little bit longer and, in total it dropped like 2 stone. So it wasn't a case of the plan wasn't working. It was more that they just had to be a bit more persistent and a little bit more patient, and the results actually carried on progressing. It's not always going to be a straight line to your goal. Sometimes there's going to be parts where it stalls a bit and then you go and then you stall and you go. That's the road to success, unfortunately. It's not just a linear line all the way across. Sometimes, you go forwards, backwards. It's, 3 steps forwards, maybe 1 step back. It's an ebb and flow. So being patient is also important with the plan. Obviously, if it's been like a year or something, or it's been a lot of months and you see no progress at all, obviously that is definitely a red flag that the plan's not working. But you've also got to make sure that you're patient. If it's been 2 weeks and you don't see anything, definitely wait it out. Don't just chop and change the plan too soon. So making sure that you understand it's not going to happen overnight, it's going to take time, and just understand it's a compound effect as well. So maybe you want to lose a stone and you've only lost £1 1 week, maybe you lose £2 the next, but then you only lose half a pound the next week, and you're getting frustrated with yourself. And again, I don't really like to focus on weight, but I'm just using, these numbers are easier to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So we only lose half a pound, we get frustrated, but when you add the compound effect into place, where, if you lost half a pound a week, even though it doesn't seem like a lot, there's 52 weeks in a year, so you would be around, 25, 26 pounds down, if you just kept being persistent and patient and kept going. Maybe, you want it to lose it a bit faster, but you'll still get there, all right, with the compound effect, by only losing a small amount of weight each week. So you've got to take that into account as well. So, for example, if it was only £1 a week, that would be £52 in a year, which, for those of you who might have quite a bit of weight that you're wanting to lose, then that would be a pretty significant amount of weight, considering, a lot of people, what they do is they follow a plan. And before we go any further, sorry about my squeaky chair at the moment. They'll set up a plan, but they won't be persistent and patient with it, so they might see the results halfway through the year, but then they quit. So by the end of the year, they don't lose the £50, okay? They might only lose the 10 and then they gain back, or they might lose 20 and they gain back 10. So, who's the winner here? It's the person who made the small steps, but carried on being persistent and carried on being patient with that progress. So, patience is another key factor. And then we have the fourth P, and the fourth P is... I was only going to do this about 3 Ps, but there was actually one more thing that I think is important. I didn't want it to be like, I'm not going to spoil what the word is in a second, but I needed to find a word for it that began with a P, because I didn't want to be the 3 Ps and an M. Because we're talking about the mindset, so we've called it perspective. So the fourth P is perspective, and this is all about your mindset and how you look at things moving forwards and moving towards your goals. And this is really important because your mindset's the engine. Your mindset is, if you don't have the right frame of mind, you're not going to achieve the right results, you're not going to sustain the right results, and you're obviously not going to hit the goals you want. And a great example of this, you can have all the best plans in the world, you can have the best plan, you can have the best coach in the world, you can have everything, the elite of the elite resources in place, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're just not going to see the progress that you want. And a great example, if we look at athletes, we've seen many athletes over the years where they've got all the best resources, all the best facilities, whether it be a footballer or a boxer or a celebrity, even celebrities. We see where they've got all the riches, but they're not making progress. So in the sense of, we've all seen like a celebrity where they hit the heights of fame and then they just go on like crazy benders and they just, they go totally off track and then the career's in the trash. And that's because they're not in the right frame of mind. They don't have the right mindset in place. And they just throw it all away. And we've seen that with athletes where they hit a certain peak and they're not in the right mindset and they pretty much blow it all. So, if you can, like I said, you can have all the best resources, but if you're not in the right frame of mind and your mindset's not sharp enough, then you're not going to either see the progress you want, or if you get to the progress and your mindset's not in the right place, you're not going to be able to maintain that progress and maintain those results. So having the right perspective is super important. It's the engine of your results, and a great way to sharpen this mindset is to figure out why it is that you're doing this in the first place. If you can understand, whatever results it is that you want, whether it be fat loss again, improve your health, improve your muscle tone, anything at all, you need to really understand why it is that you're doing it. And I'll put you very much in the right mindset as to, now you know why you're doing these things, it's going to be much more of a motive to actually go for the goals that you want. So, for example, let's use a rough example. You might have the goal of just trimming down, tone it up. Right? Name of the podcast. It's the most. That's why it's called this, because it's the most common goal that most people have. So let's say that that's our goal, and we need to. Then we've got to figure out the why. Why do we want that? And most people say, "I just want to feel better," but they don't really understand why it is that they want that. Why do you want to feel better? Because you're not feeling your best. You might not be feeling yourself. You might be feeling your optimal self, which you did 20 years ago, 10 years ago. You want to feel your best because you want to be the best version of you for maybe your partner, your spouse, your kids. And then you see there, we're going deep in the rabbit hole rather than just I want to feel better. You're really understanding why it is that you want these results. And, your why might be that you want to look good for a holiday. But your bigger why, you can have as many whys as you want, but your bigger why might be it wants to be that you want to, be around for your kids or your grandkids, anything like that. So we have a much stronger reasoning. So rather than just, I want to look good in my jeans or I want to look good on holiday, we then have a reason that I want to be there for my kids, for my grandkids, and we have a much more powerful why, we have a much more powerful motive, and now we're much more likely to follow out the plan with persistence and patience. Okay, so the root of the perspective and the mindset is understanding the why and really being aware of that, so that every time we hit a roadblock, we remind ourselves why we're doing this, and then we can work around those roadblocks. Because, the road to health and fitness success is not an easy one. There's lots of bumps in the road, things come up in your life. It's not always easy. Time can be restricted. And when you're not really clear about why you're doing things, it's very easy to quit. It's very easy to quit if you're doing all this just to look on your jeans. You're just like, you know what, it's not even worth it. Now, if all of these roadblocks and bumps that we hit in the road to be there for your kids and to keep up with your kids or your grandkids and see them grow old, when things get tough, when stuff hits the fan, we then go, right, why are we doing this? Right, we're doing this because I need to be there for the kids. I need to be the healthiest version of myself. Or, I need to perform better at my job or whatever, something that you're passionate about, or it's a sport, whatever. Something that's really important to you. You go, right, okay, we need to knuckle down, we can get past this barrier. But if it's just to feel okay, or if it's just to look good for a holiday, which is only going to be like a weekend holiday, in Spain or something, you're thinking, is all this trouble really worth it? No, probably not. But when you think if it's something more important, so maybe, like I said, a sport you love, for your family, you think, this is worth it. I'm gonna get my head down. I'm gonna try and get past this barrier. So having a why in place is really, really important to get yourself in the right mindset, have the right perspective, and carry out the remaining P's of patience, persistence with the plan that you have in place. Okay, so that's the 4 P's, everyone. If you can incorporate those 4 P's, then you will get the results that you want. So if you can get the right plan in place that you can follow out with persistence, you can be patient with the plan and the progress that you see, and you can execute all of those by being in the right frame of mind and have the right perspective, you will see results and you will maintain results for years and years to come. And for those of you who, if you want a rough idea of what it's about, being in the right perspective, I'm going to attach to I'll try and attach it on the Facebook Live, but I will attach a link in the description of this recording of a video that I shared with my clients on mindset and how it's the engine of results. It's just a simple YouTube link, simple video presentation, and you can watch that for free, and you can get a rough idea of what it's like or what a good reason why is, or how to find your specific why, and how to get yourself in the right mindset. And it'll open, new thoughts to you, and it'll make you have a bit more of a think of why it is that you want to get these results, and then hopefully that'll be a driving engine for you to execute on a plan with persistence and patience and see the results that you want, and hopefully it'll have you seeing success. Okay, and a great quote that I heard from that really wraps up this podcast and explains what I'm trying to tell you here is one from Friedrich Nietzsche, who said, "The person who has a strong enough why can overcome any how." So it doesn't matter what the obstacle is against you, what the odds are against you to getting the results that you want. If you have a powerful enough reason why you want to do it, it won't matter about what the how is and what it is that you need to do. You will get it done regardless. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that there, everyone. This episode, depending on what you're listening or watching it to, it's available on a lot more devices as well. So if you're watching on video and you want to see a recording, maybe if you want to go out on the go and you want to watch the rest of this, or you want to rewatch it or listen, this is going to be available on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, obviously Facebook Live, and we're soon going to try and get this up on Spotify. So make sure you follow on any of those platforms or all of those platforms, and drop a subscription, drop a rating, or leave a comment as to what you think about the episode. Hope you enjoyed that, everyone. Hope you found it useful. Hope you found it valuable and insightful. And I will catch you for the next episode. Thank you for tuning in, as always.